Are we live yet? Is it happening? Hey everybody, welcome to my stream. I am Z to the O to the E, FPV. You know me as Zoe. I know you as Awesome, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be building out, bam, a unicorn. Believe it or not, I haven't had time or a chance to actually sit down and build out one of these amazing frames, which has been a bit unfortunate. But now I have the chance, now I have the time, and I figured, you know what, why not do a live stream of it and show you all how I build mine out. Now, this frame is already together. If you've seen my last live stream, I actually show you how to put the frame together itself. This live stream is all about actually putting the rest of it together, the components, soldering it together, showing you the stack that I generally recommend, and what I've been flying in 3D with lately. Everything on this is basically the same as my other unicorns. Hype Train 2207 2450 kV motors. We're going to put a Hobbywing G2 stack in it, and Team Black Sheep HV VTX, and Crossfire to make it, you know, long range. But yeah, I think that covers the basics of that. If you have any questions, let me know in chat. I'm going to try to keep an eye on what people are saying, even though it's a little difficult sometimes. Yeah, and also, if you may not noticed, I have a new look. New hair, new me, new life, kind of, not yet, sorta. But yeah, so let's get over to the bench, start opening stuff up, and get this going. If you're just joining me, welcome back to the stream, everybody. Trying to get this set up. I think that'll work. I think this will work. Just turn the soldering iron on. Hey Ryan, hey TCM Drone, hey Galactodon. Did you unicorn color your hair recently, Zoe? Yes, my hair is now unicorn colored. For those curious, I guess I can like pop back for half a second and show people. My hair is the full unicorn. I have the purples and blue now. And on top of that, while I was in Vegas, I got myself a unicorn tattoo to commemorate the frame launch. I'm really stoked on it. Hopefully you guys like it. If you don't know where I've been at DEF CON, which is a hacker convention in Vegas. I wasn't planning on going, and it kind of kicked my butt because I am absolutely tired from it. So let's get back to what I was working on. Okay, so we've got the basic frame. We have the top already set up. Now there is a bit of a problem. I need to put in these little spacer plates because I don't have those set up yet. So let me do that. Let me see if I can change this angle a little bit. There we go. That's better. So I am trying to find a couple pieces out of this bag. There's one piece. I know I've got more. I think it's just one. Okay, might have to dig around my other bag of unicorn parts. Yeah, and there's, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but there's, you know, a lot going on in my life right now. Just getting back from DEF CON, like I said earlier. It's a really, really cool event. I was not anticipating it to have a drone-related, like, area, but there's a whole village dedicated to drones, and I ended up flying my tiny whoop all up in there, and there's a lot of people, a lot of fans actually met me at DEF CON, which is really, really cool. Like, people I was not expecting to meet at DEF CON were at DEF CON. This is also a plate for an older frame. I don't know if this is gonna fit in there right. May have to like go hunting for other plates. Now you don't have to run these plates in your frame. I'm doing that because I want a little bit of extra, like, I don't know, room to work with stuff. Yeah, let me stand down this. These are like pre-production plates. I don't want to open up another frame and pull them out and ruin something. So right now the only report, or the only negative reports of the unicorn are there's been one frame break. Someone delaminated an arm right there. The back, this back plate here seems to be really, really tight. So I might be making a revision to it here on the V3. or the third production run to try to make that not such an issue. But yeah, so far so good. I haven't had any major reports of like horrible failures of the frame yet. So I'm pretty stoked with how it's like launched. And yeah, it's taken me a lot of, I don't know, just a lot of time. Like I didn't realize how much effort it was going to be to launch and release a frame myself. And it's definitely been an undertaking. But I really gotta say thank you guys for sticking with me through it. I know when I announced the unicorn frame, a lot of people were like, Zoe, you need to work on your life. Well, then I worked on my life a little bit, and then I wanted to get this done. And now I'm working on my life again. So just kind of sanding down the edges of this a little bit real quick. Shouldn't be too much to do. And quite honestly, I could probably slam it in there as it is, but I don't want to slam it in there. I want it to like go nice and easy. Yeah, so for those wondering, I'm not going to be going to the West Coast Throwdown this year, unfortunately. Like, a lot of things kind of came together to make that a little bit difficult for me to do. On top of that, I had some life opportunities pop up. Rotor Riot's going to be flying me down to Florida here in a couple weeks to go fly and film with them for a little bit. And I'm really stoked to go do that. So yeah, that's going to be happening. And that kind of coincided with the West Coast Throwdown event a little bit. Like, I wouldn't be able to go to both events. And on top of that, yeah, it just yeah, it was really, really difficult. Because I have a lot of friends going to the West Coast Throwdown. Like, a lot of people that I consider, like, family. And to not go is kind of heart-wrenching, to be honest. But this year, the organizers said they didn't need my help. Like, those words, they didn't need me this year. They wanted me there, but they didn't need me. So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not needed, I guess I can bounce. They have it all handled. I'm sure it's going to be a great event. So I figured, you know what? I have a better opportunity ahead of me. Plus, a lot of work stuff has come up. So I'm kind of trying to focus on that a little bit. And I'm still tired from DEF CON. Like, I'd have to leave for the West Coast Throwdown in the next, like, few days. I'm still recovering from the last event. Plus, I don't have all of my rigs ready that I wanted to be to compete. Like, there's just a lot of stuff coming together to make it kind of hard for me to do. Anyways, this is the most boring part of the stream. I am just sanding stuff down. This is literally the most boring part. If you're still watching, thank you. If you're just joining me, we're building out a unicorn frame today. Not just the frame, but like the full build. Like, I plan to go fly this thing later today. Yeah. Okay, that's enough carbon fiber dust for one day. So generally when you build out these frames, you need to put these plates in before you like start smushing in the rest of the frame, but there's a way you can do it. You kind of have to just shove them in there. It's really inelegant, but jeez, it's super inelegant. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it on this one. I've done it on like 4 other frames, but not with the bolts all bolted down like they are right now. So these plates, this one right here is going to house either the VTX or the receiver, and the one up front will probably house the receiver. Oh jeez. I've gotten weak all of a sudden. There we go. There we go. So now that we have the plate in, I'm debating, you know what, actually I think I'm just going to go with the one plate. I'm going to put the receiver down below and the VTX on top. The receiver should be fine down there, I'm not too worried about it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. And then that way I can run this out to the arm. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to put the receiver on the bottom of the plate, and then I'll put the VTX up top. And that'll just make it easier to work with. Cool. So, on that, now we have to add this top plate. So the top plate's already built. If you didn't watch my last live stream, I explained how to kind of build everything out. I highly recommend watching that because we're not going to go over all that again. That was an hour worth of documentation. Okay. Okay, now let me actually get a driver bit here. So this is the main standoffs. You have the same setup in the front as you do the back. Now originally this was gonna be like squishy TPU pieces here, but realistically it hasn't really been needed. Like, people have not had the vibration issues I was worried about. And it's stronger having pure stainless steel there versus TPU. So I went with the stronger option. Now that we have that there, the actual top plate acts as a kickstand. Makes it easier to work on. So now that we have that in place, let us move on to the zippy ties. Generally, I don't use turtle mode. I'm really picky about, like, if I crash and can't get my quad up, I am not going to chew stuff up to try to get it up again. I've had too many quads bust ESCs and blow motors trying to use turtle mode to get out of a bad situation, so I just try not to do that anymore. Like, I'd much rather walk over to get my gear and reset it properly than take a chance I'm going to break a bunch of stuff. Like, turtle mode's great if you're racing and you're in the heat of the moment and you can't go get your quad. Like, that's what turtle mode was for. But I know a lot of people that get really lazy with it. And they don't want to get up if they don't have to. Let's see. So for those wondering, or curious, I have a team of 3D/unicorn pilots. So I'm sponsoring 3D pilots and women because I feel like those are the real unicorns in the drone industry right now. So I have Just Van, Steezy FPV, and Stabby FPV. They are my 3 currently sponsored pilots. Hashtag Team 3D. I'm really stoked to have them on board. Like, there's days where, you know, like, I've been really stressed out lately, and it's really neat to see other people carrying the torch and, you know, enjoying something that I put a lot of heart and love into. So it's really neat. It feels like I can finally start giving back a little bit. Because for the longest time, you know, I was a quote-unquote sponsored pilot. And sponsored pilot, like, there's ups and downs. The ups, you get equipment, you get to be a part of a team. It's kind of like a nice publicity boost because you get to say you're a sponsored pilot. And for my sponsored pilots, I'm trying to make sure that their frames are covered so they don't have to worry about not having an airframe to fly with. Because that's what I can do right now. And for me, that's still expensive, but from the economics of everything, that's what I can do and still have the frame club be successful and not eat up all my money. So yeah, that's a big deal for me. And on that note, the Unicorn Frame Club on Patreon, I think, still has one more open space. I just added some more spaces to it, so if anyone wants to get this frame for $25, go on to the site and get it now before it's gone. And if you don't, if you can pay more and you want to pay more and you want to pay retail, you can get this at Outcast Droneworks for $99 retail. It is a premium frame after all. Let's see. And on top of that, Rotor Riot is actually going to start carrying it in their store very shortly, which I'm pretty stoked on. Legit. Okay. So what I did there is just securing the motor wires down with zip ties. On my other builds, oh god, I'm really ashamed to show you my other builds. This is one of my unicorns right now. It's seen better days. The arms I'm using silicone self-adhesive tape. It adheres to itself. It's okay. You know, it gets the job done, but after a while it tends to wear down and break off. So for a bodge fix, I've got a tape there. But the best option, the cleanest looking option, I think is just a single zip tie. So I'm doing a single zip tie on this one because I think it looks better. Let's see. Now that that's done, the stack. So let's get out the rest of the equipment that we're going to be using. So I went down to the local hobby shop and I bought myself a camera and a flight board stack. So I got myself a Runcam Micro. I'm paying full price for this stuff, which is weird. Considering how much love I give Hobbywing should give me some love. Like, I've been using nothing but this stack lately because of how reliable it's been. Even though they have the 60 amp stack and whatnot, like, this thing has been absolutely bulletproof. And that's been something that I've been really stoked on. So, the G2 stack from Hobbywing. You know, Hobbywing, guys, Charlie, I know you know me, Charlie. Send me some stuff, Charlie. No, I'm joking. If they don't send me anything, it's fine. It's just, they're one of the companies that I would like to be sponsored by because I actually use their equipment. And that's a big one, is I'm trying to be sponsored / work with companies that want to work with me / I want to work with them. Like, for instance, I just turned down a prop sponsorship because I want to work with companies that want to make 3D propellers. And they just want to shove 2D propellers down my throat, and that's not my style. So I had to turn that down, and that was kind of disheartening because I really feel like that was the wrong option. I should have said yes, but at the same time, it would limit my options going forward. Okay, so now, soldering iron, come on. Come on, soldering iron. Heat up. Oh. Okay, cool. Ah. Hey, Xjet, welcome to my stream. May you get bored and still stick around somehow. So one thing I'm going to do is solder up this board real quick. Now, the other thing I'm going to do on this is I'm actually going to hook up OSD. I've always had problems with OSDs causing interference and noise, generally because 3D tends to destroy the battery eliminator circuit. And there's almost always noise when I fly. But I feel like this board might be okay, and I haven't had any problems with it, so I'm going to actually hook up the OSD and go that route. I'm just putting some flux to make everything flow a little bit better. I'm pretty sure this is pure silver solder. Hey Randy, thanks for joining Patreon. Like, Patreon's how I'm able to keep doing awesome hobby projects and stuff like the unicorn frame. Without the amazing people that have joined that and helped support me through that, it would have never been possible. So thank you guys so much for being a part of it. Like, yeah. Even though I'm heading down the path of having a proper job now and really trying not to rely on Patreon, that makes it easier for me to go do cool stuff. Like, next month I'm working on a 3D prop club. So a few 3D pilots and myself are getting a bunch of 3D propellers from GemFan, and I'm trying to work it out to make it economical and cheap enough for people to be able to get them through Patreon. Just because I know a lot of people want to try 3D mode out, and I think they would have a better time if they actually had proper propellers that myself and other pilots actually like to fly and use. Right on. So clean. So clean. Yeah, a little bit of flux makes everything flow so much better. Right on. Looking good. Now, these are pull-through holes on this. I don't know if the camera's going to focus on it or not. I am still going to tin those up anyways, just because how I solder and everything else. I'm not going to put the cable through the little hole and solder it that way. That's just, I don't know. It's just not how I work. Not how I operate. Oakley dokley. I guess this is the OSD. Okay, that's all tinned up. Now, the fun part. We're going to put the ESC onto the frame, and this is going to be our first major challenge. Which is not really a challenge. This is probably the easiest part. I'm like, this part's going to be difficult. No, this is the easy part. Oh, thank you, X-Jeff, for thinking I'm such a great asset to the hobby. Hopefully, I can live up to that expectation in reality. Like, I know it's been hard for me to keep pushing the last few years. Like, everything that's happened in my life, from health issues, to sponsor stuff, to feeling burnt out on the industry, to falling back in love with it. Like, there's just been so much that has, you know, affected me. And I like the fact that no matter what, I keep coming back to it. Like, I am in absolute love with drones and drone technology. And the hobby gives me so much joy and passion that it's just... It's really hard for me not to be in love with it. Cool, so now that we have the stack on, we're gonna start soldering stuff together. Okay. So this is pretty much already done. So there's a couple big things. One, you have to put this capacitor. If you don't put the cap on here, bad things can happen. So we're gonna put the cap on here. Let's see, these are both 35 volt. So a bit of information for y'alls, because this is actually super helpful. Come on, camera. Oh, come on, camera. So this is a 35 volt, 560 capacitance or UF capacitor. So it has capacitance. So what the heck does that all mean? So 35 volts, that is the top voltage that it charges up to. So if you put any kind of voltage to it, it's actually going to kind of upcharge it to 35 volt. And then 650 UF, that is how much capacity it has. So both of these are 35 volt, but this one has almost twice the capacitance. Why does that matter? Well, if you're, you know, pulling a lot of voltage through your system, there's a lot of voltage ripples. The more capacitance you have, the better voltage smoothing you're going to have, because the capacitor is not going to be as taxed. It's going to have more juice in the bank, and it can actually do more with it. So yeah, I'm going to use the bigger capacitor. That should give me a little bit more longevity and hopefully will make things cleaner. So first thing we're going to do on that note is going to solder up the positive and negative of these connections, and then we're going to add the capacitor and solder up the motor wires. Because, you know, that's just how I'm going to do it. So the wires already came pre-tinned, but I want to actually add a little bit more solder to them. Not to mention, it has a different solder than what I have on my build. So the connections won't flow as good. So by re-tinning the connection, it should make everything flow better when I do make that connection. Cool, looks good. Cool. The connection's also good. Right on. I'm really stoked I finally get a chance to do this. Like, I've had the unicorn frame in my hands for almost a month now, And I shipped out everybody else's. I shipped out all of the things. I did all of the support requests, all the help requests. I did the videos. But I never got a chance to actually build one out myself. That is how busy I've been, guys. Like, for perspective on things, you know I wanted to build one out. Like, it's not a matter of want. It's a matter of being too busy to. Like, I have a new project that should be launching next week that a lot of you probably don't know about. I know a lot of you don't know about because I haven't been talking about it. So there's actually a whole new thing coming out next week, guys. So prepare yourselves for even cooler stuff coming from me. Yeah. I'm really stoked with how things are going. Work-wise, I worked on a new project that should be coming out. I'm also starting design work on an X-Class frame. That should be out sooner than later. Just because I'm motivated to get it done. I've been working on the design now for... well, shoot. I've been working on the design for almost a month now, in my head. Like, to me, this design for the unicorn was in my head before it was ever out on paper. So, that's the hard part, really. So I'm just kind of bending these down. So I'm going to take this capacitor here. See if I can get a better view. There we go. So I'm going to take the capacitor and I'm going to just kind of set it here. I'm trying to make it, I'm trying to find its home to where it wants to be without having a bunch of pressure on it. And then I'm just going to tack on the pads. There we go. Tacking on the pads. Trying to make sure we get a good connection. Let's see, let's add a bit more tin to it. Solder is our friend. That one looks good. I've got to clean up the other connection. Okay, that's pretty good. Cool, now that we got our capacitor and our power lead on the machine, that's honestly the toughest connection, because those ones are the biggest, those ones have the most current flowing through them, and if you don't flow those ones right, you're gonna have a bad day, okay? Okay? Okay. So, just to keep these on, I'm gonna actually put these back on. Boop-a-doop. A little boop-a-doop. And a boop-a-doop. So the stack is a little bit different, the way that I put it together. It was intended for the Hobbywing G2 stack. It was intended for these little rubber grubbins. If you don't have the rubber grubbins, you might have to find some other spacers or something to help kind of even stuff out. Because the stack was made for the rubber grubbins, the gummies. Grubbins? Why do I keep calling them grubbins? Oh, yeah. Okie dokie. Now that we have that on, let us solder our connections to the motors onto it. Let's see. It's always the shortest one. So I'm not even going to cut these wires down. I've noticed that the hype train motor wire length is almost perfect length for the unicorn. So I don't even like trim them. I just solder them on. This is also great because if I want to put these on a different build or something later on, I can desolder them and they still have the original length, which doesn't happen all the time with builds. Okay, that one is in and good. So I'm taking the motor wire on the inside and I'm running that to the outside, yeah? Yeah. So if I do this right, it should look really uniform and look nice. But if I do this wrong, it won't look nice. Let's see, so that inner one... Okay. There we go. And for those curious, I'm using the Xtronic Model 3020 soldering station. I bought this station, it's American made, which is awesome. And two, I have never had to replace a tip on it. It has been a workhorse. It has not complained a single time, and I abused the heck out of my soldering iron. So if you want a really good station and you don't have to replace a bunch of tips on your shitty Weller iron, get one of these. Because, yeah, I hate my Weller iron with a passion. Okie dokie. Is it really on the outside? No, I'm going to double check this. Yeah, this one is going to go to the inside. Okay. It feels good to build. I haven't done a build in a hot minute. Then realistically, I want to rebuild my other unicorns with the final production frame. Because the people that have been flying it have had less issues with it than I have. Because I'm flying V4 and V5 actually improves quite a bit. A lot of places added a bit of thicker, you know, there's a lot of improvements. But I haven't broken my V4 frames, so I haven't wanted to upgrade them. It's like, if it's not broken, why fix it, right? So I've been trying to fly them into the ground, and I can't destroy them. Let's see, so out is on the in. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's make it pretty. Let's make it pretty. Okay. Oh, come on now. Don't do this to me. All the connections were good up until this point. Bam. Nice and clean. Ta-da! So now that our wires are run and actually in place, kind of smush them out of the way a little bit. And put the flight control board on top. Bam. So good. So good. Okay. So now to put the very top on, we're just going to take these little screws here. Hey, Double A! Oh, dude, Double A, I missed your face! So a little bit of luck, XJet, myself and coworker Crystal, we're talking about actually doing a build of an X-Class quad, and me teaching her how to build her first drone as an X-Class. I have a fresh X-Class build in the back that I need to work on, Like, I have a few projects I need to work on, which is, this is one of them. But yeah, I've got a fresh X-Class build that I'm going to be trying to get going here. And Crystal might be down to learn how to do it, so we'll see how that goes. It'd be kind of fun to teach a newbie how to build on an X-Class quad, because, like, everything is bigger, and if she screws up, it's gonna end horribly. This is because this was the display unit, why I'm going through this. So the display unit ended up losing a few screws while I had it out and people were playing with it. So I am currently going through my bin to try to pull out a couple missing screws. Yeah. I gotta be in here. I gotta have one more. I can't have, like, just 2 of those. It's like the most common freaking bolt in existence. There we go. Okay. Okie dokie. This build is almost done. Look how look how quick that was. Now, I have not looked up the, well, I haven't looked up the wiring for the OSD. Conveniently, it comes with a really, really great manual. The G2 stack comes with probably one of the best manuals I've seen out of anything I've bought. Another reason why I really like Hobbywing. They've really kicked it out of the park with their documentation and everything else. And honestly, guys, I would not have bought in this. Like, I went into the local hobby shop, and this is all they carried. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. If it's bad, I'm going to return it. If it's good, then I'm going to keep flying it. And I have been flying this stack now for about 5 months. And I have not had a single failure. And I thrashed the heck out of this stack. So, massive props to Hobbywing for making something that stands up to my abuse. Cool, now the stack's on. I really like how that goes together because everything's really nice and flush. If you have to take the stack off, it's easy. You don't have these through bolts that the other one does. And it's all really nice and solid. Plus, it just, I don't know, you can tell by not having it go all the way through. I feel like it has a little bit more vibration dampening than if the bolt went all the way through. So, just my 2 cents, but yeah, stack goes together really smoothly. If you use gummied stack, if you don't have a gummied stack, you might have to add some spacers to make up for the difference. Okay, the next part, receiver VTX camera, and getting that wired up to the the flight controller. So, actually, let's get the VTX going, I guess. Now the question is, where did I put the VTX cable? Oh, that's fun. Did I really not know where I put that? Oh my god, I don't know where I put it. I'm gonna have to look for that, because I had that on a demo build, and I didn't finish it. So now I've got to find out where I put the plug-in for the VTX and the wiring for that. Gosh dang it. It's got to be somewhere easy to get to. I have an idea of where it is. Anyways, let us add the jumper cable. Oh, this is not it. This is it. Okay. Clean. Very clean. Now I've got to find out where I put the wire harness for that. I have a feeling it's in this backs. This backs of stuff. Okay. No, not in this back step. Well, poop on a stick. Where the hell did I put it? And that's when I go back and buy another VTX just for the wiring harness. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare to find. Oh gosh dang it, where did I put it? And that's when you all leave me. Let's actually just go back to this view for a second. Yeah. Box of stuff. It's gotta be in here, guys. If it's not in here, I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is, yeah, there's too much shit. And then I still have frames I gotta give away, like the Zappy 120 frames. I still have those I gotta give away. There's still stuff on my list of things to do. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait. Am I gonna get lucky? Is it gonna be in here? It's gotta be in here. There's gotta be something relatable in here at least. Wait, what? Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll just use this VTX instead. Well, semi-problem solved, I guess? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna use this instead for the moment. I know I've got the wiring harness for the other one in here somewhere. Wait, are they the same? No, they're not the same wiring harnesses. Well, poop on a stick. Okay, well, I know I have it. I know I have the wiring harness for it somewhere, guys. So let me just look for a moment. Because I'd really like to find it. Yeah. It's gotta be in here. It's got to be in here. Or it's not, and I lost it forever. No. No. You know what? I'm just gonna use the other VTX for the moment. Just because it makes it easier for me to actually do all of this amazing stuff. So yeah, we're gonna use the other VTX. Sorry about the confusion and me not knowing where all my stuff is. Yeah. Maybe it's in there, maybe it's not in there. I don't know. Although I gotta say, it was nice that I actually had another spare VTX hiding in there. I didn't realize I had that, guys. Okay. Back to the stuff. As soon as I find a... No, this will work. This will work. Okay. This view should work. So we're gonna put this VTX on it instead. Why this VTX, you might ask? Because I had it. Yeah, that's a thing. Okay, the wires are already kind of short. Why are the wires so short? Okay, so that's voltage in, so that's easy to deal with. And there's the signal wires for video, audio. Okay, cool. So I'm looking at like I've never seen a VTX before. There'll be a double-sided sticky tape. We're actually going to secure it down with a zippy tie after the double-sided tape. This is just to make it easier and give it a little bit of insulation from the carbon fiber. Because carbon fiber is bad in K. Like, real bad in K. You don't want your VTX right on your carbon fiber. You want to give it a little bit of cushion. Let's see. It's going to be probably the most tight location. There we go. Perfecto mundo. And now we can take this off. We'll feed that into the frame. So this is the antenna end, the SMA connector. Actually have a little spot for that on the frame. Come on. Bend into your new home. Come on, I know you want to bend in there. There you go. Plop. And I put on there. So now we'll have a direct SMA connector on the frame itself. No worrying about it breaking off or doing anything stupid. I've had so few antenna problems on this frame. I've been extremely happy with it. And the cool thing with the MMMCX connector is that you can start rotating this thing into weird positions and you shouldn't end up destroying it. Okay, I think that's going to be good. Cool. So now that we have the antenna and VTX situated, let's just solder up the VTX real quick and get those connections out of the way. That way I don't have to worry about them in the future. These ones are going to come up this way, and then these connections will go here. So the HV takes direct voltage, so that I think is actually, well, no, let's see if we have like a 10 volt regulator on the board. I'd really like to try to use something else. So I have 10 volts going into it, 10 volt there. Dude, okay, cool. We have 10 volt on the board. Buzzer, 10 volt ground. So it should be... And by doing the VTX to the board, we should have common ground with the OSD, which will hopefully get rid of any kind of weird common ground noise issues. So yeah, just food for thought on that, guys. So on this, it shows we've got 10 volt and ground, so we're going to go 10 volt ground. I'm actually going to cut these ends and clean them up a little bit. Okay. Let's change this around, it'll be easier for me to work on this way. So 10 volt ground, 10 volt and ground. I don't like how that's done. Ground is on the inside. Ground should always go towards the outside, but whatever. So my other builds, I don't hook up the OSD. I go straight to direct voltage, and I go straight from VTX to camera, just because it helps me avoid any noise getting into my system. Like I've tried for years to run OSD with my 3D setups, and it's always been a problem. So I think this one will be wired upright, and I think the board is correct, so I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. Okay, that's wired in. Cool, so now we have ground, I guess, smart audio and video. Has video in, video out. I mean, it says OSD pins here. I don't want to go into the pins there. Okay, this is the issue I had before. So the OSD isn't really labeled out on here very well. Because in theory you have OSD pins right here, but it's not showing that on the reference paper on the manual. So I don't know why that's a thing. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can look it up online real quick and see if they have that breakout there. I'd really like to hook the OSD up properly, and I would really like to not have to solder together a freaking breakout cable to make it work. Hobby wing. Images. Just going through what I'm looking through. I'm trying to find wiring. There's literally another image on this, like, what pads are these? What do these do? So someone else has also asked the question, what do those pads do and why aren't they listed properly? Oh, awesome. My mom's alarm went off that she doesn't know how to use. Awesome. Okay. So I love it when you're trying to look up stuff. You know those pads work, but you can't find out why or how. Yeah, they don't really say what those pads do, which is really unfortunate. Okay, maybe this is why I haven't hooked up my OSD. What the heck? Why the heck can I not find what these pads do? This is just not cool, yo. Hobby Wing G2 wiring. Is this the image I'm looking for? This is one of the biggest issues with our hobby, is just trying to find all this freaking information spread out on different forums and websites, and if you're not used to searching for content and searching for this kind of information, it can be a nightmare and a half. Because this is not the one either. This is not the right. Oh my god. Oh my god. I know those pads do something. It's just a matter of what do those pads do? Why don't they have them listed? Maybe I'll have to go straight to the camera again. Because I don't want to use this breakout cable stuff. Like, that's stupid. So for those that are wondering what I mean by breakout cable, on the side here, you have this little breakout here, and that has your OSD and everything else. Let me go back down. So for those wondering what I mean by breakout cable, this board has this breakout cable. It lists all of these cables and what these cables do, but there should be pads on the board. Like, I know these pads right here correspond to these here. Like, it says OSD right there. But there's no wiring diagram for these pads. And to actually figure out what they do would probably take me an hour alone, just to, like, soldering, resoldering stuff until something blows up. So I'm not gonna blow stuff up. I'm actually just gonna, I'm gonna bite the bullet and try to wire these freaking wires in. I'm not happy with that. It's not going to be as clean as the build could have been if they had direct solder points. That's probably my only issue with the board. Now, that is my only issue with the board, actually. pulling out my heat shrink. So we're about to heat shrink some stuff. This is the most inelegant way of doing it, but okay. If Hobbywing, if this is the way you want me to do it, this is the way I'm going to do it. And this is like a relic. The G3 stack is out now, so if you're buying a G4 because of my video, you're doing it wrong. You should be buying the G3. Okay, so those wires are stripped. So I still have to deal with the smart audio. And smart audio I think I'm going to have on TX6. Oh, come on. Where did I put it? This is not the piece of paper I was looking for. G2 wiring. Now I'm trying to find that piece of paper I just had. I don't even know where it went. I just had the instruction booklet right here. How can I have misplaced it already? And that's when my stream goes to shit. Everyone leaves. Someone's like, screw Zoe, she doesn't know what she's doing. Nah. Okay. My chair is also broken. This is the other thing. It's like I'm having a hard time sitting comfortably because my chair is broken. I can't even scoot out because the chair is broken. I need a new chair. I need a lot of things in life. Okay. So I'm going to solder to TX3, I guess? Yeah, TX3. And then RX and TX3, or RX6. No, RX1 and TX6 will be for control. Let's see. So that's going to be TX3. Oh, okay, that's not too difficult to find. So I need to solder down to, and it actually has the pads listed right here on the board. What the heck, brain? I don't even have to look up the manual, it's right on the board. Okay. TX3, RX3. So done. Okay, that's soldered up. And now video in, video out, 10 volt and ground. We already have it on the 10 volt, but considering I have 10 volt on this, I'm actually going to solder to the OSD. I don't know if there's extra filtering on the different line or what, but just to be better safe than sorry, I'm actually going to do that instead. Oh, and they have RX and TX6. Okay, screw that. We're going to go all of these wires to the other wires. Oh, jeez. Brain. I'm sorry if you guys followed along on that one, but we're doing it properly. I want it to do it properly. I don't want to bodge fix it. It should actually look a lot cleaner this way too. So on that note, let me get these all ready to be soldered up. And realistically, this will probably make it much cleaner in the end of it, because I'll be able to tuck a lot of these wires in between the flight controller and the ESC. Now, realistically, you probably don't want to tuck those wires next to the ESC because of potential noise issues, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. If it is a problem, I'll just route them above the flight controller. Come on, get on there. What the heck? Like a G6, like a G6. Okay, let me get some music going. There you go. That's better. Okay, now that I have the heat shrink on the wires, we can start wiring this up. So video in, video out. So video in is going to be for the camera, video out will be to the VTX. Meh. Bad camera. Stay there, camera. Okay, there we go. Video in, video out. This is why I don't like the soldering method. It's such a pain in the butt. Good enough. Okay. Hate you, camera. I hate you right now. This camera is not cooperating with me at all. Ah! You know what? We're gonna stick you together. We're just gonna stick it together. It's gonna be done. It's gonna be there forever. Okay, you like this super glue? You like the super glue? Okay, camera, you're gonna get the super glue, camera. Give me a second, guys. I am gonna fix this. Permanently. Okay, there we go. I've now officially stuck it the camera to the thingy permanently. Hopefully that won't have a problem again. Okay. Moving on with the build, thankfully. Let's see, we've got video out, 10 volt and ground. So, 10 volt. It should be a little bit easier now. Like, as we get each wire down, there's one less wire in the harness and it becomes easier to manage. With a lot like life, taking the first step is always the most difficult. Every subsequent step after that tends to be a little bit easier than the first. and the one after that. Okay, so the ground is next. No, that's not the ground wire. Come on. Let's just make all the wires the same color, guys. That's not a bad idea. Let's make everybody have to wire in the same color wires, guys. This is smart. I'm being sarcastic, if you can tell. This is a horrible idea. You should never make all the wires the same color. Like, unless you're like a pro and you know exactly what you're doing. Otherwise, it is a nightmare and a half to deal with. Yay. Okay, that's done. Oh, it broke off. That was not a good connection. No. No. Okay. Fine. Do it the hard way. You want to do it the hard way? We'll do it the hard way. We'll do it with lots of solder, and we'll strip you down, and we'll make you nice and hot and toasty, and yeah. What? Someone's gonna be like, what drugs is Zoe on? I'm not on any drugs! That's the problem! Okay. Cool, that's done. Oh, damn it. And I forgot the, this. Okay. Get this back on there. And we'll try that one more time with passion, a little bit of pizzazz, and, you know, a bit more energy. Cool. There we go. Oh, hey, the camera is still where it should be. Look at that. Through adhesive, everything is possible. Everything. Everything. Okay, let me fish this wire out. This is so difficult. I need tweezers. Okay, I got tweezers now. It's kind of funny because we're almost done with the build. We're really just tightening up because after we have this wiring harness done, we just have to put the VTX onto it and call it good. And the VTX shouldn't take too much. So wait, there's two grounds? Like, wait. What in the frack? How are you supposed to ground everything to one? Oh my god. Okay. Give it a shot. This is not gonna work. So, they don't only have one ground wire. You have to, like, literally harness all of your grounds together, which, for a common ground, makes sense. Like, if you're looking to clean up your video, this does make sense, but it's a pain in the butt. It is an absolute pain in the butt. I'm curious about the G3 stack, because this is, like I said, a pain in the butt. That one, I bet you, is not nearly as a pain in the butt. And now I really want to go fly. Like, I just want to get this thing built and flying and together and just go fly it. That's all I want to go do right now. I can't even do that because I have to get another freaking wire on there. Okay, let's get the camera out. Let me get the camera going and get this moving ahead. Where did my top plate go? What the frack? What the frack? heck? Where the fuck did my top plate go? How did I lose it? What? It was literally right here. It was literally right there. Where the fuck did I put it? Oh, I am losing my mind now. Okay. It was right here, guys. Like, you saw at the beginning of the stream. I put it to the side, and now it's disappeared. Maybe I should have built the first unicorn on my own and not live streamed it. Seriously, where the frick did I put it? Let me clean up some stuff. I mean, it's gotta be here. It didn't just freaking disappear. I had my hands on it at one point in time, guys. It's gotta be here. Okay, so it's not there, it's not that, it's not here, it's not there. Oh, what the heck? And the screws for it. No. Oh. I am losing my mind. Oh my god. I need a drink. I need a drink. I need a drink, guys. This is that point in time in the build process where you just say, I need this. And yes, I opened that without a bottle opener. There we go. That's a good shit. Okay. Now we can move on. Take a breather. Find my center. Okay. Now we can move on with the clear head. Okay, now we're back to having fun. So, I need to get this together, let's see, and then we got the wiring for this here. Well, I'm almost scared this camera would produce my note. That's good. Okay, run cam racer. Came with screws, I included screws. The ones that come with my kit are ever so slightly longer. See, flonk. It'd be funny if they didn't include the right one with it. 5-volt ground, video, VBAT, TX, and RX. Oh wow, okay, so you have full OSD control on the camera. I don't know if I'm going to do that though. I don't know if I'm going to have VBAT going to the camera, so you know what, I'm actually going to take off some of these connectors. Quick. No, I think I might have to start meditation. Just because apparently I don't have my chill anymore. I need to find my chill. Okay. That wasn't too difficult. Now, since I have these wires up, let me get the ground wiring. So the ground wire is the one that I need to tie in with all the other ground wires. And one of the reasons for this is common ground. I believe that's probably why they did it. By tying all the ground wires in together like they did, you can basically guarantee you're not going to have a ground fault. Or a ground loop, or whatever they call it. more noise gets into your video because the ground's not common and all that fun jazz. Cool. So now the grounds are groundized. Groundized. The camera, wait, the camera's still gonna need voltage, so how is that gonna work? I guess we'll tie the voltage into the other connection. This is so freaking backwards, guys. I don't like how they did this on this board. This is why I went straight to the camera and bypassed this whole mess. Okay. Okay, okay. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, guys. Not a big deal. We will make do. Yo, Sparky, you're on speakerphone and you're on film. What's up going on, my friend?
Oh, nothing. Just discussing the plan for West Coast and the caravan down there.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cancel West Coast Throwdown this year.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I just made that decision yesterday. I had some stuff pop up. Work stuff. Rotor Riot also invited me down to Florida to go film with them, and I can't do all of it.
Understandable, understandable. The schedule can only fit so much.
Yeah, like, dude, this is the one event a year that I love. Like, it's my event. I love the West Coast Throwdown.
Dang. Oh, well, we're gonna miss you there.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna miss the fuck out of everybody.
See what the scoop was. Oh, man.
Say again? Oh, oh, I want to go so bad. I feel like shit now.
Oh, it's alright. There'll be another one.
Yeah, I know. I just, yeah.
Alright, well.
I guess I'll see you when you get back from it then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Damn, yeah, I need to do a trip down south, too. It's nice.
Yeah, you do. Well, shoot, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get back to my live stream. I'll call you later, yeah?
Yeah, good speaking with you.
Yeah, talk to you soon, dude.
Alright, Zoe.
Later. Bye.
Bye.
Sparky Josh. Yeah, I'm bummed I'm not going to the West Coast Throwdown. I'm really bummed. I swear, I find one thing, I lose another. Where is my mind? Oh, where is my mind? 10 volts. Okay. That's the power lead. Let's see, do I have anything a little thicker? I need something a little thicker. So bummed I'm not going. Life, why do you have to try me so? I just want a little reprieve for like a couple months where things aren't so freaking stressful. That'd be great. Okay, now I've got those wires good. Now I just have to figure out these ground wires again. Such a pain in the butt. Such a pain in the butt. I don't like how that's wired. I don't like how these are bundled together. But I don't think I can really make it any better than that. Okay. I hope these go together. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okie dokie. There we go. Okay. Oh, that was the hardest connections out of this build, considering everything. I'm sorry I got quiet there. I was, like, concentrating / thinking, like, oh, I don't get to go to the West Coast Road now. Like, yeah, it's the one event I look forward to more than any other one out of the year. So for me to not go, like, you guys know, it has to weigh heavy on me. Okay, so now I've got video in. I guess I can get that going. Knowing my luck, I'll plug everything in and it'll just start catching fire. I doubt it. I haven't had that happen in quite a while. I've been pretty good about it. Like, even though I have my moments where I screw up or I freak out because I don't have everything together at the moment, I tend to always pull it out in the end. I pull it out. Ha. Okay. Okie dokie. Angry Orchard time. And I do not fly with the spring active. If you're wondering, Athex, I fly with no spring, just loose throttle, no clicks. Okay, smart audio. So I have 2 connections left on this. I have TX and RX. So I need to hook up to the TX. And then I have to remove 1 wire. Hey, at least I'm getting it wired up. And then I'll try to run all this underneath the flight controller and try to make it look a little bit more tidy and neat. Because right now it's very ugly. And I don't like the way it's set up. So... And I'll probably just stay on Livestream while I configure the machine too, because it shouldn't take me but a minute to get this configured. Okay, now I need to pull out my heat gun. Meh. And like that, we have our stuff soldered together. I think that's it besides the RX. I need to wire up my RX and get that secured to the board. So we'll do that next after I get these wires together and out of the way. Pop that one off. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. So I'm gonna twist up these wires. So Athex, if you're curious about how to convert a 5-inch to fly 3D, if you go on my main YouTube page, I actually have a list of videos that cover everything. Okay, so those wires are good. So let me start twisting these ones up. Okay. Cool. Wires are twisted up. See if I can run this underneath the board. Might have to actually pop the board off to do it. We can try. Yeah, I'm just gonna pop the board off. That's what I like about this setup. It's really easy to get to your stack. Not every setup is like this. Actually, I don't know too many other stacks that build out like this one does. I don't know any other stack that does, actually. Like, the hardest thing was probably figuring out how I was going to do the stack. I kind of want to... Let's see. That has to be run through the full... Yeah, I think that's going to have to be how that works. And this goes like that. Yep, that's going to be the way it does it. Okay, so that's going to be pretty clean. Actually, when we get this all together, it should be really, really clean. I mean, yeah. There's going to be like RX wires on the top, and that's it. That's going to be so clean, guys. That was maybe worth the hassle. Maybe. We'll find out. Knowing my luck, I still screwed it all up. Okay. Cool. Okay. We have our flight control stack basically done at this point. Now we just have to solder on the RX, which is pretty simple. If the wiring wasn't all confusing. So on this I've got black, white, red, black. Yeah, I'm pretty sure power or negative power TX RX, but I'm just gonna verify that real quick because I don't want to. Yeah. Screw this up. Wiring. I almost always have a diagram open when I'm looking up, when I'm working on stuff, because I don't want to screw things up. And quite honestly, only takes one wire to have a really bad day. Like, yeah, one wire in the wrong spot. Cool. Yeah, so TXR. So that was the channel assignment that I thought it was. But it was good to look it up just in case. And you never know when you're going to screw it up. So we're going to put it on the bottom. And we're going to snake up the wires to the top. Yeah. So I've got a little bit of double-sided sticky tape. I'm going to take that off. So for those wondering, it's more than just a setting. If you just change bidirectional mode on the ESCs and bidirectional mode on the flight controller, you're going to have a bad day. One of the things you have to turn off is air mode. If you have air mode on with 3D mode, you're going to have a bad day. If you have the default settings for 3D mode on your machine, you're going to have a bad day. The default settings have a bidirectional zone of a dead zone of 50, which is 100% or 100 points in between your throttle ranges, where if you move the stick, nothing happens. So you have to change your dead zone to 3, so it's just ever so barely there before you have a good day. Yeah, if you use the stock settings for 3D mode, you're going to have a bad day. So just like FYI, watch the videos. There's something I really don't mention, which is the fact that you don't want air mode on. I don't mention that like in any of my videos, and it's probably the biggest thing that causes people trouble when they're trying to get into it, is the air mode tends to be a little bit more, it makes your quad not fly great. Like it adds extra jitters to your transitions and everything else. Okay, it should be in a good spot. And then I will zip it tie the antenna down real quick. So with the antenna mounting with the frame, I've honestly just put it on the arm like this. And then I'll change it to an Immortal L. I know Mr. Steele just did a video on it recently. I know I've been flying the Immortal L, quote unquote, for a while, where you make the antennas into an L shape. I haven't had any fail safes or lockouts or any kind of weirdness with my setup since I've gone to the Immortal L. I know I constantly get questions on it. And realistically, I think it just gives you better coverage, because with a straight out line like this, you have a bit of interference there. But if you actually bend the antennas into an Immortal L, you have less interference from the carbon fiber on the quad. I'll show you here in a minute once I get the cinch down. Yeah, okay, cool. That's cinched. Cut that off. Now our antenna is attached. I'm actually gonna do another zip tie there and get the antenna wire with the motor wires all together, just to make it a little bit more secure. Okay. Let me run the power out and through real quick. Oh, come on now, power. You know you will pop through. Do not do this to me. Oh, it's gonna do it to me. Oh, god damn it. Okay, well, fine. I'm gonna bodge fix this then. Generally, I put the power wire through that slot beforehand, but I did not do that this time, so I am bodge fixing this. I melted it. And that should be just enough to get it to go through. Maybe not. It's like it wants to, but it doesn't want to. I'm literally just making it ever so slightly flatter. I do not recommend doing this. If you're watching this now and you're wondering, Zoe, why the hell are you doing this? Because I'm lazy and I don't want to desolder all the connections around the, around this. Hopefully that's enough. If that's not enough, I'm gonna try to bodge it a different way. Hobby Wing, why you do this to me? Okay, fine. Fine. We'll just have to do it properly. We'll just have to take the extra time to do it properly. There's a lot of reasons for your quad shaking when you go from one direction to the other. Spider FPV. Air mode is just one of them. If you have air mode enabled, it's probably a big reason for it, honestly. Oh, this is going to be a pain in the butt. I don't want to have to hassle with this. I don't have any pliers. Why the hell did my pliers go? No, fuck it. More bodge fixing. Feel horrible for doing it this way, but honestly, I just want to save some time and get the stream done. I don't want to have to spend half an hour trying to take apart the machine and doing it properly. Oh, this is such a horrible way of doing it. I feel so embarrassed for doing it this way, too. This is not the way you do it at all. This is not the way you do it, guys. Do as I say, not as I do on this one. Okay. See, now, if I was getting paid and doing it hourly, yeah, I would have taken the time to do it. But I'm not getting paid right now, and quite honestly, I want to go fly and hang out with some people. I want to get out of this RV and go do stuff. And the more time I spend on this live stream building it, the more time I spend away not doing that. Fine. Taking it out. We're doing it properly. It's not going to let me do it the bodge way. Should have just done it properly the first time. Yay. That was so violent. You know what? And that only took me like 5 seconds. Gosh dang it, brain. I should have just done that properly the first time. I should have just taken 5 seconds to take it all apart. Oh well, now people will be scared to plug in my stuff because it looks like it melted itself. Okay, now I've got to hammer this together. Heavy object. Hard object, that'll work. Okay. Okay. That wasn't too painful. I thought that was honestly going to be more painful than it was. Honestly, it probably would have been more... If I just took the frame apart the first time, that would have been faster. Yeah. If I would have just taken the frame apart, it would have been faster. Desoldering the leads, I think, would have been more involved and would have taken me longer. Especially considering the flight control stack is already there. Like, to actually get to the leads would have been more difficult. So, yeah, I should have just taken the frame apart the first time. Save myself the hassle. But apparently I like to hassle with it. Go in your home. Go in your home. There you go. I should have just done that the first time around. Now I have a nice melted connector. It doesn't look that bad, but it could be worse. Could be better. Could have just taken the time to do it. So now we're going to snake these wires up and through. going to try to do it differently because these are the signal wires, the other ones are the connectors, and I don't want to screw or mess up what's what. So signals are tied together, power is not. Let's go underneath that. Okay. Ta-da! Now that we have those wires, let's move on. Okay, so these are the signals, that's power. So let's get power going, and then we'll move on to signal. Yep, that's power. I just wanted to confirm. Let's see, we've got ground, 5 minutes. Right on. Okay. Now I've got to figure out what is signal. White is signal RX, so I've got to go white to RX, black to TX. This is probably the worst view ever for you guys. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Wait, nope. I have that screwed out. This should be going to TX. So black, RX, no wait. Screw that up. So I've got black going to TX3, which is good, and this one should be going to RX3, and it's going to RX1. There we go. Okay. That should be the final connection. Thank you, camera, for being blurry the entire time. Camera, I hate you, camera. We gotta get a new camera for this live streaming stuff. Oh my god, I want to scream at this camera. I didn't realize how bad it was. Okay, I think that does it though. Let's get the camera on and in and power it up real quick and see if it catches fire. Beep. And that's too big. And I don't think I've got the things I need to do the thing that I need. Awesome. Let's see, where is my other tool at? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go through the configuration. I think I'm just going to button it up and plug it in to make sure it doesn't catch fire and then call it good. The stream is going a lot longer than I thought it would. And I'm getting kind of tired. I would like to take a break. In general, I don't think I've like fully recovered from Vegas. Okay, cool. Camera's in. Didn't realize how much I had to bend that to get that in like that. There we go. And bam! Now I just gotta find that standoff. Where the frack did that go? Like seriously, where did that standoff go? Why does it just be here? Okay, fine. I will find a replacement standoff. Ta-da! Pretty sure that's 20mm. Nope, it's... Well, no, wait. Is that 20 mil? No. No, it's not. Glad I double checked. And that's when I find out I have no 20mm standoffs to use. Ha. Ha. The sad funny thing is I just had the standoff too. Like it was legitimately just here. Before the video started it was sitting right there and now it's not, so yay. And it's not like my workbench is a giant mess right now either. And that's when I end the stream because I can't find a standoff. Will that work? Will that work? Maybe that'll work. Yeah, it'll work. Yay. When in doubt, you know, I don't know. Just keep going. There we go. That'll make all the difference. God, it's already 2 p.m. I don't want it to be this late. Ugh. Ta-da! Fart noises. Okay, let's put the antenna on it before I plug her on in. So we will be going hot, and the machine will have a load on it. Okay, ta-da! Now let me go grab a battery and plug her on in and watch this thing catch fire. Y'all, you ready for the sparks? Y'all ready to see some flames? Plugging it in! Woo! No fire! Hey Crystal, what's up? I'm live streaming right now. What's going on? I'm live on the internet, Crystal. Live on the internet. We're live on the internet. Have anything to say to the people in internet land?
I found your computer.
Yay! And I'm done streaming, so I'm gonna finish up here now that my machine didn't catch fire and call it a day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So what are you up to?
I'm going to the office right now so I can solder my badge.
Oh, nice. Right on. Bye, everybody. Goodbye. I'm done with the streaming. Goodbye, everybody. Love your faces. Oh, God, the camera's going up.